went to a party once. It was on in Isla Vista. I lived on Picasso Road. You know, if anyone's from there. And so I went into the house party, and the house was full of foam. Like, I mean, like from floor to ceiling. I was like, is the house not written off now? I'm like, how's the house going to recover from this? Anyways, I went through crazy party time in my life, you know, my teens and, you know, 20, 21. I tried to go to college. I was always terrible academically, so I failed first year college. They're like, all right, you got to repeat. Failed first year again. And right now I'm looking like Billy Madison. I'm older than all the kids in the class. They're like, you have a choice to repeat the year. You know, it's like snakes and ladders. You land on that ladder and you go back to the first go. And they're like, do you want to repeat the year? I was like, no, I'm just going to drop out. And so I was at a stage in my life, I was like, all right, I've no college to go to. I've no job. You know, I worked in some shitty retail jobs. Yeah. Nothing with any longevity. I had no qualifications. I had no parents or relationships or links to get me a job. No dad to be like, hey, come work for the company. I didn't have that, okay? A lot of my friends did, and, you know, I hope to be able to do that one day myself. I didn't have that. So I had kind of nothing, you know, and I was even, my family, you know, they went bankrupt pretty much, and we had to rent out our family home, turn it every single room into a hostel pretty much. It was shared accommodation, so we made like, you know, there would be like a bedroom, we'd split it in two, put like a wooden panel in between, so the rooms were already small, and we'd rent it out two. And so and then all my family moved out, my sisters, my parents separated, they went their separate ways. So all of a sudden it's me with nothing going on, no direction. In the house that used to be my family home, but now it's a hostel. Like, it was cheap to stay there every night because the rooms were tiny. And it was a dodgy crowd. I would get fights started on me in my kitchen from drunk guests. I'd get laptops stolen out of my room. I'd get money stolen out of my room. It was a horrible, weird environment to be in. And the fact that this used to be a loving family home that I was brought up in, super fucking weird time in my life. And I was about 22 here. So I said, what the fuck am I going to do? What do I like to do? The only thing I'm actually passionate about, interested in, is going to the gym, which is kind of funny. Like, you know, like the only thing I can do is bicep curls. I bet 300 euro in my bank account. And I was like, who's going to pay me to do bicep curls? And then I was watching all these guys on YouTube, Christian Guzman, Max Tuning, the Hodge twins, all these guys just talking about fitness topics on YouTube. And, you know, they're selling programs, coaching, working with brands, sponsors, flying out to expos. And I said, I want to do that. You know, no one in Ireland is doing that. Not even many in the UK was doing it, you know, maybe like 2 or 3. Because we're all in Ireland, the UK, we're very afraid to put ourselves out there. You know, and so I said, one day I'm going to, I was about to say pick up a camera. I didn't have a camera. Pick up my phone, iPhone 5, 1080p, no 4K. And the vlog is still there. And it's so precious to my heart. Like, I go back and, you know, I sometimes watch it, and it's like 8 years old now, and, you know, I have a baby face and everything, and you can see the little shitty shared accommodation that I'm staying in. You can see the shitty kitchen, the shared kitchen. It's a fucking complete mess. And it's about like 10 different colors, you know, in the room. It doesn't look like Villa Lipsett does now. And I just picked it up. I said, this is how I eat and train in a day. And word got round in Dublin. They said, hey, there's this like young kid, he's mad into fitness, let's all go laugh at him. You know, he's putting all his fitness progress online. But then there was a lot of people that said, hey, you know, I actually like this. Like, this guy is just being open. He's openly saying he's failed college. He's got nothing else to do. He is really knowledgeable about fitness. That is one thing I've always been bang on with all my information. And then it kind of caught wind, and I got a load of hate from Irish people saying, you know, who do you think you are? But I also got a lot of love. That was the very beginning of my journey. And then I kind of went from there. And then I started putting more videos on YouTube addressing certain topics and myths. And here's the key to starting a business, right? You build a community first, put out the information first, provide the value first. And not only will you have customers before you even start, people will be telling you your business idea. People will be like, your information helps me so much. Can I buy a program off you? Can I buy your ebook? Oh, you don't have one. Can you make one? So I was like, boom, I don't even have to think of a business idea. The first time I ever made money online, I put together like, basically, it was about 100 pages. It's actually pretty good. It was an ebook on training and nutrition. And I just said, I'm going to write something that I would just, when I was like 18 starting the gym, that I would love to read. And so I made that, and it was €30 on my site. And I really want to go back and see who the first customer was. But the day it came true, it was like a PayPal notification. I was like, I'm going to be a millionaire. But you'll never forget that first time you make money online. And then I was like, oh my God, here we go. And so that's where I started out in Dublin. And then, I started working with brands like Alpha Lead and Ghost. It was actually My Protein at the time. They were one of my first sponsors. They're great, huge. I started working with brands, going to expos in the UK, America, getting more clients, getting more opportunities. And it went from there.
So you reached that point where you were watching YouTube, and then you became the guy who was going to the expos and doing the things.
That's it.
It's funny because you said about your family were broke and they had to rent out their house. And I went through the same thing in London. My family, during the recession, we had to rent out all the rooms in our house. And I think it installs something in you to be like, I don't want to be like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Do you know what? So there's actually, I don't say this much, so you probably can't tell, but I have a real posh Irish accent, okay? And people make fun of me for it. They say, oh, daddy's boy, oh, you're posh. Oh, you probably got everything handed to you. And they don't know. I actually did come from really well-off family, but they went fucking bust. But just when I was like 18, like when I could have actually done with it. And so people had a big misconception about me, all because of my accent. And the school I went to was an amazing school as well. And I'm like, I got nothing to hide, so I'll just tell it how it is. But it's just funny how people have these preconceived notions about you. But yeah, that's the truth. I started with 300 quid in my bank account, no inheritance, no leg up, no nothing. And I bought with that €300. The first thing I ever bought was a Canon G7X, a vlogging camera. And now that's gone on to make a 7-figure fitness business. So that's some good ROI.
Great ROI.
Yeah, better than Bitcoin. Almost.